Today I'm gonna show you how to make a dark beat for Joyner Lucas, and a little bonus is that I added a hook to it, so I'll also show you how to create a hook for your beat. Let's listen to it.
What do? Make the run. Yes, you have got to make the run to emotional safety.
Yo, BUCKRIDER!
I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic, we move systematic, fully automatic.
Alright, so this beat was made completely from scratch. Mostly start always with my melody and then add the drums. How was this melody created? You see, eventually I rendered it to a wave, but I still have the patterns here. It consists of this plug, and this is the plug without the effects on it. Basically just one chord. It's a C minor, and sometimes the fifth, which is a G, moves to the G sharp, which gives it that tension. I put the scale highlighting on C minor natural, because that's the key where the sample is in. So that movement from the G to the G sharp, that makes it really dark. Top notes in there. I just click them in and see what sounded cool. It's super repetitive. You see, this is the pattern I made, and then I copied it over a bunch of times. For dark beats, it's nice to have a lot of repetition. It's not necessarily a bad thing in this genre. Then I copied it over to another patch. Sounds like this. Then I drove both of these plugs to one mix bus, added a bunch of effects, and then it ended up sounding like this. So here's some panning going on and some extra reverb. And then I added a really basic piano, playing the bass notes. So the chord you saw with the plug was a C minor. So I just play a really low C underneath that for 8 beats, and then play that same C an octave higher. So if I remove these, low C, high C, low C, high C, but they were activated to make it a bit more full. If we add that to the plug, we get this. And then the next thing I added was a little trill of a violin. This is a sample. And then I did the same thing as I did with the piano. First it plays here, then an octave higher. I also added some pitch movement. So here it moves up in pitch. So it's a like a sliding effect. If we add that element, we have this. And then I had some accents. One last thing is a long bass. And then we have all the elements for the melody. And that's just a simple saw wave playing the same notes as the piano. After the melody, let's go to this part, because we have all the drum elements here. And I mute the vocal for now. This is a trap drum pattern, of course. So you have the clap on the 2 and the 4. Nothing special. We have a kick. Really boom, boom. Easy pattern. Dum, 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 dum. And a hi-hat pattern doing this. So the basic basis of this is just an 8th note pattern. Ta, 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 ta. And what I do then is add some rolls, remove some notes here and there, add some notes in some higher pitches. Also makes it a bit more interesting. Let's see if I played around with the pen. No, so I just played around a little bit with the velocity. These were poking out too much, I think. So that's why I decreased them in velocity, in volume. And what else do we have? An open head, giving an accent on the 1 here, 1 and a 2 N, the offbeat of the 2. And then we have a percussion thingy playing here and there. So if we just listen to the drums isolated with all the elements, now we have this. And after 8 bars, this little drum fill comes in. That's just a drum fill I took off splice. So then we have all the drum elements. Oh, I forget one important thing, the 808. So the 808 is playing along with the kick. With some notes, so you hear these 2 high notes are not hitting along with the kick. There's no kick there, so it's always nice to not have the kick and the 808 play every note together. So you can add some extra notes to the 808 where the kick is not hitting. So when they're hitting together, it sounds even more tough. This is just an octave higher, and these are just 2 notes inside of C minor, because they're placed on these lighter lines. Like I told before, I put a scale highlighting on, so you can place the notes on the lighter lines. They are in scale. Don't put it on the darker lines. They're out of scale. Because the 808 is so low, it's sometimes hard to hear the pitch. So when I program the 808, I always start with programming it an octave higher, so I hear what I'm doing. So now it's a lot more easy to hear the pitch, and if you're happy with your pattern, then put it the octave lower. Always try not to go below the C5 with my 808. So if you're using an 808, it's nice to take that into account, that you don't want to go too low with your 808, because it will lose its power after a certain pitch. It's not like this one. It's not hearable anymore. This is all good. But below C5, it starts to lose its power. So you want to take that into account when choosing the scale you're gonna compose your beat in, if you want to use 808. So this is in C minor and it's perfect. I don't go below the C with my 808, the C5. Then we have all the elements, and then we have this 8-bar loop where we can arrange our beat from. Okay, then for the arrangement of the beats, intro, I start with just the pluck and the piano. Then the second part, the strings, the string runs, and the bass come in. Then we have the little break here to make the 1 on the verse hit harder. And to make it even hit harder, I used this gunshot on the 1. Back in the day, like the album from 50 Cent, how it's called? Get Rich or Die Trying. That was really cool to use all these gun sounds. You don't hear them this much anymore. But I was like, okay, this beat sounds so badass. It needs some gunshots, machine gun shots. And I already wrote the hook, which is about a gun, a fully automatic gun.
Got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic.
Got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic. It was logical to use some gun sounds in this beat. So instead of a cymbal, which I would normally use, I used a gunshot on the 1. And just when this little break happens, I have this machine gun. That's a nice way to put some emphasis on the 1 of the verse, the first beat.
Fully automatic.
Okay, then we have the verse. I keep some elements out in the drums and also in the melody, because you want to make a little bit of room for the vocal, otherwise it gets too crowded. So you see that the strings are missing. And the long bass, I don't use it along with the 808, of course, because you don't want to use two basses at the same time, because they will cancel out each other and they will fight for the space in the low end. So what I do is I use this long bass when the 808 is not used, and I use the 808. Then I mute the normal long bass. So this bass is only for the breaks where there are no drums. I also left out some elements of the drums, so I can introduce them later on in the verse. So the open hat is not playing and the percussion is not playing as well. Then after 8 bars, I reintroduce the strings and I add these drum elements. Then later on in the verse, I mute the strings again and then I add them back in, but I mute all of the drums instead of the clap. That's something I do every time. I want to take some energy away and then bring some energy back when the hook hits. So you get a nice transition so the listener hears, okay, it was the verse and now we land into the hook.
I got my fully automatic.
Then we have a hook, then we have a verse again. So the second verse, you see I left the kick out and then reintroduce it. And then the kick comes back. Same trick. So take some elements out, and then the second hook comes in. Then a little outro with a fade out. Without the drum elements, without the 808, without string runs, just these melodic elements and the long bass. And that's basically the beat. What we didn't touch on yet was the hook. So how did I create this hook? Did I ask a singer? No, I sang it myself. What? Does it sound like you, boy? No, it doesn't. I replaced my vocal with AI. I use Kids AI for that. It's this website. So you can basically select a voice. Which voice did I choose for this one? The male Chicago drill. Right, so you select this voice. Okay, it sounded like this. I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic, we move systematic, fully automatic. So that's the dry vocal. It's not really convincing, so it's great to have this technology nowadays that you can replace your own weak voice with a more convincing voice. So how does this work? I grab this one, I place it into here, and then you press convert. Simple as that. Now we wait for the software to convert the vocal, and then this becomes this.
I got my fully automatic.
Okay, if you know anything about recording vocals, then you know you can stack vocals. So this on its own doesn't sound really convincing. So what I always do if I use this software is record a few takes. In this case, I recorded two stacks, so the lead and the backing. Backing is the same, but just a different take. So I run 2 takes into there so I can stack them. And I also manipulated one with some auto-tune effect. So this is the lead vocal with effects.
I got my fully automatic, it shines.
Then I have the auto-tune vocal.
I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic.
So I put some picture on there and some other effects. And then I have that backing vocal to like a thickener, so it makes, if you add it to the first one,
I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic.
So it's a doubler on there. You have this vocal really spread it out. Then it sounds like a real professional vocal to me.
I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic.
And along with the beat, it sounds like this.
I got my fully automatic, it shines so charismatic, we move systematic, Systematic, fully automatic, automatic.
Right, I think we went over everything in this beat. So you see, it's a quite simple arrangement, simple beat, but it hits hard, I think. All right, if you learned anything, please thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel. See you next time.